When you're modeling content, there are certain fields where free text just doesn't make sense. For example, t-shirt sizes, colors, or geographic areas. You know there can only be a few options. For that, we use enums, which are simply closed lists of values for a field. And they help us keep the content consistent and the front end predictable. Content Island comes with native enum support, and in this video, we'll see how it works. With a practical example from the model itself all the way to the front end. More specifically, we'll model a t-shirt collection with fields that are strong candidates for enums. For example, the size field S, M, L, XL, etc. And the color field red, green, blue, you name it. Let's see how to model this in Content Island. If you don't have an account, you can create a free one at contentisland.net. First, we click on Add Project and create a new project. Let's give it a name, for example, T-shirt shop example. We'll start from a template and hit Next. And we're going to choose the minimal Astro template. We click Complete. And we get to modeling. We click on the Model tab. We delete the greeting example that comes with this template. And we're going to add our first enum. To do that, I click here, choose Add New Enum, and click again. We'll name this enum sizes, representing t-shirt sizes, with values XS, S, M, L. XL, 2XL, and 3XL. We click Save, and we can go back. Let's create another enum. We click Add New Enum, click again, and here we'll put colors. I'm going to add a couple of values. This one, for example, and also off-white. I'll pause and add the rest. They're all there. I'll click Save. Go back. And now it's time to add the model for T-shirt. Add New Model. We'll give it the name T-shirt, and we'll start adding fields. The reference that identifies the T-shirt, which is a short text type, and it's a required field. The name of the T-shirt will also designate that as a required field. The description will be a long text field, so we can use Markdown if we want. And we're going to set it as required. Now we're going to add the sizes for the T-shirt. And it's of type sizes. It's a collection. And finally, we're going to add another enumerated field here. Color, which uses the colors enum I created before, and it's another collection. There's one remaining field to define, the image. Image is a media field for the T-shirt photo. And this one will be a required field. Let's click Save. And we're going to start adding content. To do that, we'll go to the Content tab, choose the tree view, and in T-shirt, we click plus and a new entry is added. To easily identify it, we'll use the reference and the T-shirt name. We'll put it here. And we're going to start filling out the T-shirt's details. For the ref field, we put this entry. For the name field, the name. We go to the description, we add this one, and in the sizes. We're going to say that we have XS available. S, M, L, XL, and 2XL. And for the colors, well, we'll choose. The colors black and off-white. We keep scrolling, and now it's time for the t-shirt image. We click on Add Media, and here we either click on Add File and the File Explorer opens to choose a file, or we can directly drag and drop an image. In my case, I'm going to drag and drop the t-shirt image. I come over here, I click Upload, and here it is. Everything's ready. I can publish the changes. And now I'm going to pause and add a series of example t-shirts. Now we have them all ready. Let's click on Bulk Publish and publish the pending ones. Let's go to the Quick Start tab. And here we have the instructions to create an Astro project connected to this Content Island project. Let's copy it. And let's move to Visual Studio Code. I have it open with an empty folder. I'll open the terminal and paste the command I copied earlier from Content Island. I'll press Enter, and the Content Island CLI starts. To create the project, since the folder is empty, I'll tell it to create it in the current directory, using a dot. If we wanted to create it in a subfolder, we would just have to give a name to this input. We press Enter, it clones the project, and now it asks if we wanted to install the dependencies for us. In other words, if it should run an npm install. We'll say yes. It installs the dependencies and leaves everything ready for us to run an npm run dev and test this minimal project. Keep in mind that for now, it will be Blink. One important thing before we start. If you remember, in the Minimal Content Island project, we deleted the greetings entity, and this affects this project. We have to delete those entries in the code. Let's go to src, and I'm going to delete everything related to it here in the greeting pods. Let's delete it, and I'll also delete it in pages. I'll delete this from here. I'm going to put an h1 hello here, and I'll delete the greeting here. I'll run npm run dev, and now it should work. I'm going to copy this URL, localhost 4321. I'll go to the browser and paste it. And here we have our minimal application running. Let's get to work on the actual implementation. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code, and we're going to install Tailwind using the official Astro plugin. I'll go to the terminal, start the execution, and paste this command. npx astro add tailwind. Here it asks if we want to install it. Of course, we do. Next, it tells me that it's going to add some scaffolding. CSS, the Tailwind import. I'll say yes, go ahead. It's going to modify the Astro config. Perfect. And it reminds me, hey, be careful in your layout, add this import. So it picks up the Tailwind styles. So I'll copy this code, this import here. I'll go to layouts and paste it here. In fact, we could use this alias, the hash symbol, because we have it defined that way in the Astro config. And to see that Tailwind is working correctly, I'll go to the main page and I'm going to add a nice h1 with a gradient and also a container. So I'm going to copy this code. And I'm going to replace this h1 with this other one. Let's run npm run dev, and let's see what it looks like. I'll come here, and here is our welcome. Next up, I want to interact with Content Island and start fetching data. Now I'll pull in the model from the project, make an API call, and show how to display the t-shirt collection. It doesn't matter if it looks rough. The only thing I want to confirm is that data is actually being returned. For that, I'll go here and under this folder. Pods, I'm going to create a new folder that I'll call T-shirt collection. And inside it, I'm going to add a new file that I'll call tshirt.collection.model.ts. And this model, where can I get it from? I'll go to Content Island, to the Model tab, and in T-shirt, I'll click here on TypeScript and copy the model. I'm going to paste it here. And here you can see there's the enum for sizes, the one for colors, and the interface that defines a T-shirt. Now let's define an API call so it can fetch the list of T-shirts from Content Island. In T-shirt collection, I'm going to create a file and it will be called tshirt.collection.api.ts. I'll bring in the Content Island library client, which is already generated for us by the minimal project scaffolding. Here in Lith, you can find it in client. I'll go back to the API. I'm also going to bring in the model that we copied and pasted earlier. The T-shirt interface, which is missing here, tshirt.collection.model. I define an async function that returns a promise of an array of T-shirts. And inside, I use the client's getContentList. The content list typed is T-shirt and the content type is T-shirt. This T-shirt content type comes from this model name. And since I have the T-shirt collection, I return it. Now I'm going to create the main component of that pod, a component that will display a list of T-shirts. I'll go to T-shirt collection, new file, I'll insert this. T-shirt collection.pod.astro. I'll bring in the code that runs on the server side. I import the get T-shirt collection from the API, the one I just created. And I invoke it, I create. A constant variable T-shirt collection is assigned to the result of awaiting the get T-shirt collection function. Let's go to the markup part. I'll add an H2, I'll add AUL, and now I'm going to create a loop. And for each element in T-shirt collection, we're going to display an li where I'll put, for example, the T-shirt's name and its description. And I'm going to use this component on the main page. I'll go to Pages, to index.astro. I import that component. And I'm going to use it right below this H1. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, I have a nice title and here I have the data. It's pretty ugly, but well, at least I know they're loading. So now let's add a little bit of styling. Let's go to the T-shirt collection pod. What I'm going to do is render a card, and inside that card I'll include the T-shirt image and the description, the available colors. For that, I'll create a component to display a single color so as not to pollute the main component too much. And then I'm also going to create a size component to show a pill with each T-shirt size. So under T-shirt collection, I'm going to create a folder that will be called components. And inside it, I'm going to add a file that I'll call colorcircle.astro. I'm going to add defenses to put code in here. TypeScript server-side code. I'm going to import the colors enum. This component will accept a color as props. We'll destructure the props. And here I've created a small helper to map the color name from the enum to a Tailwind color class. So now that I have this mapper, I just tell it, hey, for the color that comes in, map it to the corresponding Tailwind class. And in case this is undefined, then we'll use a default color. And in the markup, we'll add a div with a size, where we use that color class and we display it. Now it's time to make a pill for each t-shirt size. Let's go back here and under components, I'm going to create a new file called sizepill.astro. In this case, I'll import sizes from the model, I'll destructure it, and with the size, I'll create a span, a pill. And I'll add the size name. Finally, let's create the component that will be the card to display the t-shirt. We'll go here to pod/t-shirt collection. And under components, we'll create a new file called tshirtcard.astro. In this component, I'll import the t-shirt interface from the model. I'll import the color circle component, the size pill I created, and in the props. I'll accept a t-shirt and destructure it. The root DOM element for this component will be an article. After all, it's a t-shirt. We'll give it some styling that adds a hover effect when we pass the mouse over it, and so on. Inside, we'll add a container. Let's close it here. Inside that container, we're going to display the t-shirt's image. We'll add another container, and just below that, we'll add the t-shirt's name, as well as its description. For the available t-shirt sizes, if you remember, that field could be null. What are we going to do? Well, add some code. And check first if it's informed. And in this case, if it exists, we're going to add the t-shirt sizes themselves. We add the check. And inside here, we add a div to show the sizes. We add an H3 heading with the text available sizes. And we add a container with a flex wrap. And inside, we are going to iterate through each t-shirt size and display it. We just map over the t-shirts, and inside, we use the size pill component that we had previously created. For colors, it's pretty much the same. We go just below what we built for sizes. And we paste the following. So, what do we do here? We check that the colors exist and that there is also at least one. And in that case, we show an H3, where we define the colors label. And we have a flex container with a wrap in which we iterate with each color and show the color circle component with that specific color. Let's go now to the t-shirt pod. We come here. We import the t-shirt card that we just created. We are going to replace this test code with something more elaborate. First off, we add a container and some text that says t-shirt collection, and we make it look nice. And right below, I create a grid container. Inside, we map over all the available t-shirts and use the t-shirt card component to render each item. We open the curly braces here and close them here. I do the math inside here. And here I'm going to bring in the t-shirt card. And I have to add a prop to it. In this case, the property is t-shirt and it will be equal to t-shirt, which is what we have here in the map. I'm going to remove an extra parenthesis here, and there we have it. Let's see what it looks like now. I already have the server running. Otherwise, I'd run npm run dev. Let's go to the browser, and here we have our list of t-shirts with our enums.